Welcome to my world, my war, the war I gotta survive every day. This is my war. You're all welcome. Go.
Okay, so we'll start with the introduction.
Yeah.
What's your name and how old are you?
My name is SHOCKA. Some people call me Kenneth.
Yeah.
The real close ones call me Kenneth. I rarely hear Kenneth, but government name's Kenneth, artist name's SHOCKA, and I'm 35.
Wow.
I'm getting on. I'm a cancer too, to add that in there.
What was your diagnosis? And how many times have you been sectioned and how long?
My diagnosis was paranoid schizophrenia. So it started off with manic depression.
Okay.
First time I got sectioned in 2012, it was manic depression. Then it transitioned into schizophrenia, then paranoid schizophrenia. I got sectioned 4 times.
Yep.
Just saying that sounds crazy. I got sectioned 4 times, and the longest was for like 2.5 weeks. I haven't spent any longer than 2.5 weeks.
So quick recoveries.
Quick recoveries.
How did you get sectioned and what happened?
How did I get sectioned and what happened? So the first time I got sectioned, it was a breakdown. Yeah. Which the catalyst for that breakdown was being dropped from my record label. I got dropped from my record label, and that was like devastating. If you're an artist, you know how devastating it is. We put so much power on our record label situation and where we are in our music career, and like I was really young too, so like I didn't know who I was as a person. So like my identity crashed. So I had my first breakdown. Second time I got sectioned, medication issues. I wasn't taking my medication, which we spoke about. I wasn't taking my medication. Third time, I went on holiday with my friend to Magaluf to have a good time, and I was drinking, partying. Something's still missing, and I didn't take my medication with me that time too. But I don't think I was meant to be drinking and partying. And also, I remember my mum saying to me, "You're in foreign land." She kept saying like, "You're not in the UK. Just remember, you're in a whole different country. So you haven't travelled and you haven't been around like." So that played, and then the 4th time. That was recent actually. That was 2022, 2 years ago, not too long ago. And my mum passed away in February 2022, 2nd of Feb. That just triggered so much for me. Everyone knows the relationship I got with my mum. I talk about my mum all the time. I used to post my mum's prayers on my Instagram. Like, everyone knows the relationship with my mum. And I'm my only child, so me and my mum was like this.
Real tight.
So that triggered so much for me. And there was a few other things that was going on around that time. So yeah, that's I hope that answers that.
No, thank you. What was the scariest moments during your sectioning?
What was the scariest moments during my sectioning? There's 2 things that are scary. The ambulance ride to the ward is terrifying. Oh my God, it's petrifying, because like...
I wish I could change that.
It's an ambulance, so just ambulances are scary in general. Just being in the ambulance ride is terrifying. What was scarier, but what was really scary? I think the patient's behaviours was really scary. I wasn't used to being, normally when I see like a patient maybe talking to themselves or acting in a weird way, I normally see it on the streets and we're not that close,
not confined
and I could just leave. Whereas like in hospital, you're right there. This patient was like my next door. You know what I mean? There's nowhere to go. That was like really scary being around that kind of environment. Even though they're just human beings, but like it's still scary to see it. And this is me saying this. Someone that's been sectioned and someone that has to spend a lot of time, that spent more time than anyone else. I still find it scary. I was on the train the other day, and there was this guy that came on, and you can clearly see that he had probably schizophrenia and like the way everyone was reacting to him on the train, and it scared me too. So I don't blame other people when they get scared, but that's probably my scariest experience.
Whilst you were sectioned, did it help you get better? And what parts helped you get better?
Did sectioning help me get better? I wouldn't say it did. I wouldn't say it did. It gave me a second to pause. I think being sectioned gives you a lot of time to like think. It gives you a lot of time to think and to pause. But the environment doesn't really help. Especially the last ward I was in was our best experience, because like the way it was a modern ward. But most wards people go to are not modern. No. It's like, honestly, it's like a horror movie in there when you're in there. It doesn't really help. What did help me though was hearing people's stories. Hence why I set up something like this section of your life. Hearing people's stories healed me completely. There's something like there's something magical about the connection of like knowing that someone has been through the same thing that you've been through. You must talk to other mothers and like, or read other things about mothers and 100%. Be like, I get it.
Yes.
And they're not even talking to you physically,
nope.
you're just seeing.
Just reading, just knowing that
and that's more than enough. So that helped me a lot. Support, I got a great support system.
Yes.
My mum really helped.
Yeah.
My auntie really helped. Friends, I got incredible friends. So that really helped. There was a few things that helped.
Yeah. So maybe not the sectioning itself.
No, not the section itself. No, that didn't really help.
How did you overcome not being ashamed and willing to speak?
Ooh, how did I overcome not being ashamed and willing to speak? I think I understood the importance.
Okay.
Because I realized like the platform that I got.
Yeah.
And I also realized that if I don't share my experiences, this is going to continue.
Yeah.
And it's going to be difficult for the person behind me to find help.
Yeah.
Because I couldn't find no help, and like it would be a sin for me to continue that.
Yeah.
Continue that. Do you know what I mean? And leave that person in darkness. So I'm really doing it for the person behind me.
Yeah.
And when I say the person behind me, I'm not necessarily speaking about age.
No.
They could be older and still be behind me. We're talking about experience.
Yeah.
And you can be younger and be ahead of me in experience.
Yeah.
So the person that's behind me, experience-wise, that's in that place I was currently in, I do it for that person.
Yeah.
Because the person that's healed doesn't really need me.
And the shame just disappeared during that moment.
Disappeared.
Yeah.
And
you thought about the bigger picture.
when I think about the bigger picture, it's like when I did the ITV documentary recently and I told my auntie I'm going to do it, she was like, you're going to go on TV and tell your whole story.
Yeah.
And for a second I paused and thought, oh, she could be right. But then when I thought about the person on the other side of that screen, the impact, I was like, no, it's got to be done.
Yeah. Do you have any words of hope for anybody that's still going through something like this?
Ooh, do I have any words of hope? Yes. I saw a quote that says, shame dies when your story is told in a safe space. And that quote helped me so much. This is a safe space for me. You're giving me a safe space. And like, the shame dies immediately. It only continues when you tell your story to someone that's not a safe space. And then you think, why did I say it? And you go with all these feelings. But when you say it in a safe space, shame dies. And that safe space could come in the form of journaling. It can come in the form of your partner. If you're really, I don't know what kind of relationship you have with your partner, but if you have a good relationship with your partner, it can come in the form of your partner. It can come in the form of your art form. Some people draw. I use writing. Like when you hear my new album, I'm pouring out so much. And it can also come in the form of like family members, like brothers, sisters, friends. And it can come in the, I should have said this one first actually. It can come in the form of your relationship with
God.
With God, or like whatever your
higher being
practices or meditation. So those are the 5 things that
that's excellent.
I hope that helps.
Brilliant.
Let's do it. Thank you.
Excellent.